Sadnam, hello.
Sadnam, you again.
Hi, good morning. Who is here? Was that Suzanne?
Yes, hi.
Hi, dear. How are you?
Very good today. Very good.
Good. Have you been to that place in Costa Rica that you posted online?
Nope, that's not me again.
Oh, jeepers. Oh, man.
But it's a very lucky person.
I keep getting you mixed up. Huh?
Yep.
That mysterious
It's a lucky person.
Well, how are you?
Good.
Good. I'm glad to hear it. And who else is here?
Hadi Munder and Juno.
Hi, Hadi Munder. Did you just get home from traveling?
Yes.
Ah, I thought so. Well, welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah. Now, who else is here? Oh. Who else is here?
Carol from
come
Juno.
On. Oh, good. Carol from Juno. Welcome, dear. How you doing?
Good. Takes a few minutes to remember to unmute myself, though, doesn't it?
Oh, yes. Good old *6. Good. Thank you. Who else is here? Anybody?
Aloha.
Oh, it's our Aloha girl, Padam Dion. Welcome, dear.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. And who else? Oh, come on.
Several people announced themselves before you came on.
Oh, darn. Well, would you re-announce yourselves? Because I want to know. Satnam, who's here?
Ravi.
Hi, sweetie. How are you?
I'm good. How are you feeling?
Good, good. Now, I have to tell you, Guru Ravi is a wonderful Ayurvedic practitioner. Okay.
And you're out of Dallas,
and her
right,
website
Guru?
is...
Yes.
What?
Out of Dallas, right?
Right.
I need to connect with her.
Okay. Her website is busydaygo.com. And her phone number is there.
Okay.
And please do connect with her.
No, I definitely will.
I just ordered some nose drops from her. Nothing else works but them.
They should be there today.
Oh, brother, am I looking forward to that. Boy, that's
good.
quick service. Yeah. And who else is here? And, I want to say one more thing. When Guru Ravi, when she does the diagnosis of you, oh, my God, she gives you so much information. You never knew yourself in such a way. So it's an adventure to get in touch with her.
Well, I will do that. I'm glad to hear
Anybody else?
Haridaskar from
Anybody
Juno.
else? Oh. Who?
Haridaskar from Juno.
Oh, Haridas from Juno. Welcome, dear. Glad to have you.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
And who else?
Rahmane and Tomas and Paula.
Ah, I was waiting for you guys. Welcome, all of you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Anybody else? Hello?
Ranjit?
Who just came on? Hi, Ranjit. How are you?
Good. How about you?
Getting better. How about
I'm glad
that?
to hear that. I know those stop are going to clear you right up.
Yeah, for sure. And anybody else? Okay. So let's get started. Please sit straight. Long, deep breath. Eyes relaxed at the brow point. That's it. Relax at the brow point. And now, please inhale to begin. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Join me. Om Namo Agare Namah, Jidagare Namah, Sagare Namah, Siri Gurudeve Namah, Agare Namah, Jidagare Namah, Sagare Namah, Siri Gurudeve Namah. Long deep breath. Good for you. I forgot how many we did. Keep up long, deep breath. Good. And begin heart breath now. That is your long, deep breath from the belly through the nose. And exhaling feels as though you're exhaling through the heart center. What's actually coming out of the heart center is healing energy. Good. And now please send that healing energy to everyone who is on this call now or who will listen to this call. Just feel that beautiful, beautiful joining of energy, healing energy. Good. And now, send this beautiful healing energy to your own intention for healing. Good. Keep up. And now please send this beautiful healing energy We're still going to send it to the U.S. Congress. And to the Middle East. Just because their crisis is not blaring on the news right now doesn't mean that they don't need healing energy. Good. And inhale and exhale. And Baba Siri Chand is here this morning. He says, please keep up your long, deep breath. Keep up your heart breath. He says, and I'll tell you right off the bat, I don't quite understand this, but let's see what happens. He says, I hurt so terribly when you get lost in your own machinations of self-destruction, of self-ruthlessness, of killing yourself with hurts and accusals. He says, I think you all know what I'm talking about. He says, you don't need an exterior bully. You all judge yourself so heavily. It's a wonder that you're still alive. He says, of course, you may be accusing others, too. But accusing others is an outgrowth of accusing yourself. He says, now I know that that voice has been put in you through many generations. When he says generations, he means lifetimes. He can also mean ancestors. And, of course, your own childhood. He says those habits of mind that kill you, that will not let you recognize who you are, that you are actually the God substance. He says those are the voices that keep you from understanding that you are the God source. Keep up the breath. He says, just let yourself, just let those voices come up now so that we're aware of them. Oftentimes you're not aware of them. Oftentimes you think it's your duty to recite to yourself. Keep up. He says it's from such hurt, such pain, and many times the only way a person can explain it to themselves is that they've been bad. Or if you may even say, well, I was very bad, so I get return karma of being bad. He says, oh, my sweet ones, he says, never get into that. He says there is no bad karma. And everyone, he said it's the law of karma. Everyone has done poopy things. Everyone. He said it's the first rung on the wheel of karma. So everyone has to have done that. Everyone has to have received by the same hand, so to speak. He said it is the wheel of karma. He says, so please don't blame yourself for that. Understand that this is how the school of karma works. Keep up the breath. He says, but there comes a time when you are on your way home that you are finding your way out of the wheel of karma. He says, yes, that is part of the karmic role. Keep up the breath. He said to come out of this continuing rolling mechanism, that you finally allow yourself to begin to know. Begin to know. He says, know the crux of who you are. He says in that center point, that amalgamation, that totality is the whole God of the universe. He says you're playing a role here. You're playing a role as one who is separate, one who has forgotten, one who feels at the very core of it, may feel guilty, impoverished, upset, totally hurt and put asunder because you left the knowledge, the knowing of the totality. He said, my dears, that is the final gap that one must cross to know who you are. He says you are all on the road. He says you're facing the toll bridge now. And the toll is, he says, to give up the worries, the heartaches, the self-blame, the minimizing of who you are and who everyone is. He says when you get to this point of knowledge, you understand that each one is playing a role, whether they're on the first rung of the ladder of karma or whether they are on the last rung. He says you just can't judge because everybody has to climb it. Everybody has to climb it along this final curve of the cycle of life and death. He says, Yogi Bhajan told you time and again that you live 8.4 million lifetimes, half of them in water. He says, that's accomplished. Oh my God, you've done it. And then, of course, you come through all the kingdoms and so on, through all the tattvic origins, and here you are as humans. As humans. He says, can you imagine what that is? You are human. He says, put simply, as Yogi Bhajan would say, Hu is light. That is the light, the vibration, the consciousness of your own soul. And Man is mind. That incredible etheric organism that thinks, that is conscious, that is aware. He says you can see a bit of it in animals. He says, but humans have the ability to reason out, to become aware, to create. He says it's a very special step on this ladder. Keep up the breath. He says, but where the ladder goes is into full realization of who you are. And this self-degradation pulls you back. Pulls you back. Both self-degradation or self-annihilation, also self-superiority. They both pull you back. Everybody used to think that it was only self-superiority that pulled you back. He says it's not true. He says the people here on this phone call are more likely to be in the self-degradation category. Keep up the breath. And he says this includes the voice that tells you, oh, I don't deserve that, oh, I could not be that, I have so much evidence that I am nothing. He's so clever. he says. You're so clever. He says of downsizing yourself, of keeping yourself small. He says, I know this was taught in many religions, is taught in many religions, to stay small in the face of the Almighty. He says, well, that's true. He says you stay humble to this God of you. But the point is, it is the God of you. Your mind stays humble to the light. He says, but trying to kill off your mind, trying to kill off your body, trying to kill off your social relationships, trying to kill off the knowledge of you, trying to kill yourself off with feelings of inappropriateness, of failing, of not having done what you think is the work that you were cut out to do, of not having made the millions or living in jewels and castles, so to speak, of your feeling of not being accepted by others. He says you bully yourself. He says, but the important thing is that you bully yourself right out of your own heaven, right out of your own knowing, right out of the awareness of your origin that is being projected through. He says, you just have to give it a break. He says the easiest way to do this is to just relax. Can you imagine just relax out of all that? He says, but it takes a very special awareness to relax out of it. He says to relax out of it takes conscious awareness that you are not in it at the moment, that you are not in that conscious awareness at the moment, but that you are in that shark mind that pulls you down and under. He says, be aware of that first, and then immediately do heart breath and relax. Relax. He says, please call on me. Please call on Guru Ram Das. Call on every saint and sage that you could think of. Jump into your soul. He says, and don't worry about the retributions that you think you deserve or that you think that other people deserve. Do you see that's a whole cycle? That's a whole mess, a big tangle. When you accuse others of hurting you, it's just another way to say that you are bullied and not worthy. Do you see? When you find yourself being the victim, he says, I don't care if it's the most terrible, terrible instance of victimization. He says, as long as you live in that cradle of victimization, you will hurt yourself. You will rob yourself of the Almighty of who you are, the one that comes to minister to you at every moment, that comes to guide you. Keep up the breath. I know in other religions they say that you must martyr yourself, in other words, victimize yourself over and over again, so that you may be worthy of the glory. Oh, my dears, please forgive yourself of that. Please forgive yourself of that. Do you understand that was put in their doctrine so many years ago so that those who made the doctrine could victimize the rest? Do you understand that? They kept in many wonderful things, but this one, that particular one, did no good to anyone. Keep up the breath. As you be who you are, you become independent. You become absolutely creative. Now, that doesn't mean that you become antisocial. What happens is that you become a pioneer. a pioneer of the light. Because you are following the guidance of your own soul, who is taking you down a path that may appear dark. Keep up the breath. He says, please see that. Please let the instances in your life come up when you felt so put down, so hurt. He says, and now love them. Love those incidents. Because you are not loving being hurt, but you are loving the person of who you are. And raising the vibration of who you are. Because now you have the opportunity to forgive them. Forgive them, which cuts the cords to them. Deeply, deeply forgive them. So that you may understand what has happened. How they were actually opportunities for you to release your victimization and to learn the deepest of lessons. It may be that, for instance, you felt that your parents did not love you, which translates to the idea that God did not love you, because of course your parents are God when you were young. And now is the time to forgive that, to understand that you were loved all along by the great God of all, of you, but they just didn't understand who you are. They just didn't understand it. They didn't understand who they are. So this is your time, my dear, to please forgive. If you don't forgive, it creates that barrier. It creates that barrier of knowing, that barrier to loving yourself. If your parents, as your perception of the God, did not love you, you may feel that the God did not love you. And if the God did not love you, how could you possibly love yourself? Do you see? Okay, we're working backwards. Now, the God of you absolutely loves you. Regard that as a given fact. So that means that the God of you loves you. That is your true self. You are loved. You are absolutely loved. And please bask in that love. Use your breath, please. Use your heart breath. And be humble to that love. Be humble to that love. And just simply join with that beautiful source of who you are, of that God essence, of your soul. Keep up your heart breath, please. Keep up. He says, and now forgiving your parents because they had no clue. They had no clue. All those incidents that were driven into you. Forgive all those incidents. That's it. Keep up. And now let the God that is you, that is them, let that God or that omnipresence or that absolute pure love without any boundaries, let them be loved so that they can turn around and know who they are. Keep up. This ability is a joy, the joy of being on the return home cycle, that you can turn around. You can turn around these things. Now, please allow your ancestors, your parents' parents, and so on up the chain, allow them to be forgiven as well. Allow them all to be forgiven. Lord, forgive them, for they know not what they do. Forgive them, and then allow them to see the huge, unending love that is actually their source. Allow them to forgive themselves for passing down any misperceptions in that regard. Any misperceptions about themselves and about their projection of that onto their children as it's passed down to each generation. Good. Keep up. And now allow any teachers that you had, any other person who may have influenced you, that would have led you to believe that you are actually less than divine. Anyone or any situation that would have led you to believe that you were less than divine. Keep up the breath. Know who you are. Know that you are the fullness of the universal consciousness on the one hand, and on the other hand, you are expressing the universal consciousness in limited time and space now. The infinite and the finite is His beautiful light. That's who you are. If you still have those feelings, those that make you believe that you are less than, that make you believe that the slings and arrows of your life are appropriate punishment rather than opportunities for discovery and healing, He says, please send them to me. Send them to Guru Ramdas. He says, please give them up. He says, why would you want to keep them? Except, of course, if that martyrdom is your own badge of honor. He said in that case, he says, it's okay. You don't have to give them up if you are not ready. But when you are ready, please remember to give them up to the light, so that you may be the love. Be the love. There are no more grudges to be held. There is no more fear to be continued. There is no more sadness. He says there's only love. He says, of course, those things are put in you for certain reasons. He says, for instance, if you get an inkling of fear, when a car is coming, you step back up on the curb. But what he's talking about is having those emotions, have them overcome you so that you become paralyzed, so that you push yourself down, so that you lose yourself in their mesmerizing tactics, he calls them. He says, feel the love, back and forth. Feel the love of who you are. Be in that space. He calls it a space. Please be in that space. He says, and as you rest yourself in that space, he says it's an all-pervasive space. It's a space of the soul. It is a place of expansion, a place of buoyancy, a place of calm. He says, move yourself into it. He says it's more allow yourself to be there with soul as soul. Allow yourself to be there. Be who you are. Be who you are. He says, and now, my dear ones, this is your natural state. Your natural state. He says, from this place, from this very cozy place, he says, look around. Feel. What is it like? What is it like? Do your old habits of self-annihilation, do they attack you? Or are they cozily held? Like holding a baby until its crying subsides. This is the truth of who you are. The truth of who you are. Every other incident was an opportunity for growth, to build the substance of you. And now, relying in that substance, allow yourself to be. And see your world, see the people in your world, see the actions of your world, see the opportunities for growth, and bless them from this center point of who you are. Allow them to be. See the truth. See the truth of your divinity. Now, inhale. Hold the breath as you feel that space, as you continue that space without stopping. And exhale. This is who you are. Good. He says, okay now, my sweethearts, please, oh please share, so that we may connect up as the one, so that we may help each other up these rungs of karma.
Siri Gian?
Yes.
It's Harinder. I signed it
hi,
late.
Harinder.
How are you? I want
welcome.
to add once more to this beautiful teaching. Another teaching that I started 2 months ago with, it's a Kabbalah teaching. And I don't know if you know, I'm from Israel, so I all of a sudden had this urge to speak my own language and learn something about, because I've never spoken. I came here in a young age, and so I don't know, I guess my soul pushed me to sign up for a Kabbalah lesson with Rabbi Dr. Lippman. And the lesson that was 2 months, but one of the lessons was very similar to this lesson that Baba Siri Chand taught us. And it was every time it was not judging yourself or other people, and he said it like every time you climb up to the light, you do your corrections, and so I linked that, my correction, to my transformation, my karma, and keep doing your correction, climbing the ladder. And I asked the question, I said, well, I do my corrections and people around me are not correcting anything. And he said something so beautiful that I got it. He said, forgive them. And I just got it. I got it. I got it. Don't judge. Don't tell them to correct. Don't tell them to climb the ladder. Don't tell them to receive the light. Just forgive them. It sticks to me.
And what's the result of forgiving them? For you?
Well, so that's hard for me. That's something that I have a challenge, is because I tend to, I tend to judge. I tend to judge, not in a hard way, but because I'm a perfectionist, I want everything so, even on the physical level, not so much on the spiritual level, but on the physical level, I have crazy with my neatness, and so I judge, clean these, do this, do that, or why are you this way? And so this, I'm working on it. That's all I can say. I'm working daily. I'm working on it. I apply it to everything. I keep remembering, forgive them. I keep remembering, there are you. I keep remembering all the sutras from Yogi Bhajan. And so I hammered with that, but it's a challenge, This is one of the areas that I have a challenge, and I'm sure it's part of my lesson and my corrections. So
listen, why are you a perfectionist?
I don't know. I don't know. Since I remember myself, I've been that way with my neatness and my everything has to be so, and everything has to be organized. Only on the physical, on a physical appearance. I might say, even in my spirituality, I'm very precise. I have to, I don't know. I think that's robotic things I have to lose, but again, I'm working on it. I don't bother anybody with it. I just bother myself, but that's self-judgment.
You got it, girl. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, so I'm saying, now I have, in fact, that I'm okay with everybody the way they are, but what about me?
That's right.
So I'll keep hammering it with the Yogi Bhajan teaching and Baba Siri Chand and my Kabbalah lesson. And until I reach the light.
Did you say you're going to keep hammering it?
Yes.
We might want to forgive that.
All right. I'm open. I'm open to any suggestion that I missed or I need to know and bring it to my awareness.
How about forgiving yourself?
I do that too, Siri Gian. I do that.
Okay.
I do.
I'm not telling you not to be neat, but sometimes it must be very hard to maintain that at every moment. Especially if the kids come in with cookies or the dog comes in with dirt on its feet. You know what I mean?
Yes, I do. I do very much.
Okay, so what if you forgave yourself?
I'm working on it. I am really working. It's in my awareness. I don't lose it. It's in my awareness. And sometimes I make myself like really stop and just go. I do. I can't say I don't work on it. I do.
A mantra. Okay, because I think it's wonderful that you are so conscious and aware. Let me say that. Let's start with that. On the other hand, we can, the idea of perfection is one that comes from the culture. Because when you live by soul, things will happen and you'll say, but that's not perfect. Do you understand? The soul will say, relax, when the kids come in with the cookies, okay? And soul will say, relax, so that you can just relax in love and kindness, rather than being worried about the mess. Do you understand?
Yes, I do. I did progress, Siri Gian, a little bit from not bothering other people to myself.
But what about
now
yourself?
Yes, yes. So I'm okay with everybody making a mess, but then when they leave, I'm like, okay, I got to get everything back again organized. So I understand that I'm okay with everyone, but now I have to work on myself that I should be okay too.
Yeah, so that you can just flow in this space of kindness and love that is for you.
Yes, I agree.
Good.
I'll continue to do my corrections.
It's just very amazing how soul sets it up for us. How we work one side, then the other side, and one side and the other side. The corrections. You are right.
It's a process.
I studied Kabbalah. A while before I did before I came across this path. I did.
Wow.
It's very wonderful.
Yeah, and look at this. Wow. I'm very impressed. I like it. It's very beautiful, and it's very much like yoga. There's a lot of stuff very much like yoga. So I combine everything, but the simplicity of it makes me remember a few things, and the language makes me excited to speak the language that I was born with, and this Rabbi Lippman, he's fabulous, really an unbelievable rabbi. So I enjoy it immensely.
Oh, wonderful.
In fact, I actually bring things. I ask him certain things about yoga, and he sort of like put everything together, the light, the creator, the creation, nature. It's beautiful, beautiful. And so it's nice that we're going into that direction, that all the teachings are one teaching. So the creation and the creator.
It's all one teaching.
Yes.
I mean, it's all one truth.
Yes.
Good. Well, thank you so much, dear. We appreciate it.
Oh, thank you.
And keep up.
Thank you, Baba Siri Chand.
Yeah.
Aloha.
Hi, I was going to call on you if you didn't volunteer.
Well, as usual, I have a very, very close relationship with Baba Siri Chand. And it's not incestuous, but it's definitely very close. And I have this agreement with my teachers that are not in the body that to use some specific words so that I know if they're speaking to me. And he used a word that I only recently, in the last 10 days, have been vibrating in my head and recognizing outside, inside. I've seen it before, but it hits the spot when it hits the spot. And the word was bully. And bullies can be very subtle sometimes. How I bully myself, etc. And I, too, like my friend who just spoke, who, it's so beautiful to hear her talk, I, too, am a recovering perfectionist. And in my case, my perfectionism was a way of controlling my environment because I had grown up in so much chaos, and my mother had a violent energy. Although she was one of my greatest teachers, she was also a violent teacher. So for me, perfectionism was a way of trying to be safe. If I was perfect enough, I wouldn't get beaten that day. So perfectionism was a way of survival.
Would you repeat that?
If I didn't if I was perfect, I wouldn't be punished that day. And so
there you go. Okay, go ahead.
On some level, I started to associate perfectionism with survival and doing everything. So it's intricate. It's all perfect. It's what my soul. I've never felt hatred towards her. But what happened is I didn't get scarred, but I got imprinted, which is different. Like footprints. And my perfectionism has been riding me forever. It has been helpful at times, but mostly has been detrimental. And I'm at the very last part of the journey that was described today about the self-forgiveness, the recognizing, the accepting things. I'm tidy because I enjoy beauty and flow, but I don't kick myself in the butt. I don't suffer the way I used to. I'm in recovery, which means I'm aware that that's where I go if I feel out of control. In my case, the only solution for everything has been to trust, to go vertical, to trust my the angels and teachers and my God self, my soul self. And trust is the opposite of control. So the interesting thing is last week I couldn't join in. I was doing something that was supposed to be financially very important to me, and that was going to help me take the next step in my dream, which is going to Barcelona. I have the tickets, but I don't have any money to get there. And it fell through for the silliest of things, but at the same time, I did not feel anger or fear. I felt, okay, they're up to something. The universe is going to show me something more elegant, more appropriate, and less risky, because this was a little bit risky. And I've trusted it. I felt told, not passivity. I know I have to take some action. I've been taking action, but no fear. And this has given me a great education on how much I'm being taken care of. And the more I feel that, the less I have to be hard on myself. But the thing that I wanted to get to is that the most important part for me, because I've been so hard on myself and such a perfectionist, I've been hiding my light, hiding who I really am. And now I'm trying to get out, but I feel like a tortoise who doesn't know her way out of her shell. And I really, literally, this has been the work of the last couple of months, self-forgiveness and trying to be myself. I mean, to the point that I am surrounded by nobody around me even recognizes the healer or the teacher in me. And I'm not angry at them. I'm just recognizing I'm not vibrating it because I am that, but I'm not showing it. Nobody, people who I know love me and appreciate me as a human being still don't see it. They see me like the clean, tidy, helpful person, but not as that. And I don't know how to get
Okay, now how about if you just relaxed in your own love?
Right.
Relaxed in the love of soul.
Yes.
And just vibrate that. And that's basically all there is to the universe.
Exactly.
Just do that.
And that's what I have.
And then don't worry about anybody else seeing it or not seeing it. Just see.
I'm not worried about them seeing them, but I'm seeing that if they don't see it, it's because I'm not showing it. And the thing is that in order to get to the next level and be of service, it has to be seen. It has to be, it's like no, literally I offer people healing, and it's almost like they don't hear me.
Okay, this is the same thing as perfectionism, dear.
Okay.
What you're talking about is like it is a need to be seen as who you are so that you can know who you are. You must go from the other direction, and you must give up all feeling or thought of other people recognizing you.
Okay. It's funny because I feel, the feeling tone.
It's like a neediness there.
Yeah. Yes, I have a history of neediness, and I'm recognizing that. But the feeling tone, that was true probably about 2-3 months ago. But what I'm feeling right now, this last couple of weeks, has been somewhat kind of like puzzled. Not angry or not needing the outside recognition, but puzzled is like, okay, how do I allow myself to, how do I get to this next step of feeling both the safety and the comfort of who I am, no matter where I am, and just allow it to come out. I don't know how to explain it. I really don't know how to explain it. Just being myself.
Okay, what you do? Yeah. You just go. You do your heart breath, and you. Well, of course, you do your sun every day, but you do your heart breath. And you just go deep into, you can call it that meditative space, go into soul. And just be there, in love with soul. That's it.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay.
And then things will happen as they need to happen. Okay?
Yeah,
like I said, soul will guide you in ways that you cannot ever expect. It's a total creative. So don't expect to be recognized, okay? Even you might find when you vibrate at that level, it affects the whole collective, okay?
Yes.
So maybe that's your calling, is to just vibrate on the whole collective. Do you understand?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, totally. And I've recognized that. I feel myself working deeply with the earth. I totally get what you're saying. It has just become kind of, you're right, it's the ego. It's kind of a need to want to work closer to what I am instead of, doing work so opposite and hiding of what I am. And I feel a little bit like Batman, I do my work at night. And, if somebody calls me with a bad signal, I get there. But otherwise, during the day, I'm just, a happy playboy,
Okay, so, what Soul told me to do when it was finally time, I ran away from letting people know my calling for 15 years.
Yeah.
And then finally I said, okay, I'm going to do it. Whatever you say. And the first thing Soul said was, send your healing out to everybody, to those who are going to come see you, those who are not. Right. You just sit in your own space and you do that.
Okay. Yeah, I do that.
You are humble.
Yeah.
You are humble to that.
It makes me feel very connected. It makes me feel connected and joyful to do that.
Good. And then people coming to see you and acknowledging you, you have to be careful because if you are not humble to what's going on, that can be a trap for you.
Yes.
Because then when people start acknowledging you, you go, oh, yes, that's me. No. That is a trap for your ego, okay?
Yes.
When you are in the true healing space, you are absolutely humble to the action of soul moving through you. So that when people are grateful, as they will be, you say thank you, or it was my pleasure, but you give every bit of that recognition, you give it to soul.
Wow.
Because you couldn't do that.
Wow. You know what, Siri Gian? It's been happening in the last week, now that you think of it. I've been doing that work on the phone, which I had belittled as not important. But I've been really present with every call that I get. And I feel myself doing a lot of healing. And people, all of them say, thank you, you helped me so much. And, this is a psychic line. People don't say that. People are usually, and I had them do heart breath with me, and I feel very, very present. And you're just saying it's already happening in there, which is the only place I have contact with strangers that don't know who I am or what I do, really. In fact, the picture I have on the psychic line is not even me because I didn't want to be seen.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, isn't it funny? You're saying you want to be seen on the one side, and the other side you're saying I don't want to be seen.
Yes, I know. I've well, I have Moon and Venus and Gemini. I'm going to be duplicitous many times.
You can get through that, dear. I'm sure.
I am.
Just relax in soul and understand that it's all soul.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much for all of this. Thank you. It's
sure.
It's helpful in so many levels, and I'm going to, of course, listen to the recording as soon as you post it again.
Okay. Good.
Thank you.
Okay. God bless you, dear.
God bless you. Aloha.
Okay. So we have come to the end, and bless you all. Love you all. Love each other. And love yourself. That's most important. That's what Baba Siri Chand says. Love yourself. Love your soul. Relax in that love. And that's how the love can truly spread. Okay, God bless you. And now please sit straight, and we're going to sing this lovely song to each other and receive it from each other. Okay, inhale. Live a long time, sunshine upon you. All love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way on. Guide your way on. Guide your way on. Inhale. Sat Nam. And please bow to the holiness, to the love that is essentially, that is truly you, that is truly all in the universe. Bless you all. Talk to you next week. Sat Nam.
Sat Nam.